Hey everybody, welcome to week 4 of English 120. We are really cruising along. This is basically a quarter of the way through after this week. It's only 16 weeks, so it really speeds up. For this discussion board, we're going to talk about which step of the writing process do you think is most important and why. How can your writing be improved by going through this step, and what risks do you take if you ignore this step? For me, editing is probably the most important. I think obviously you need all the steps in order to have a project that's good, but editing is where you make sure that the ideas that you intended to put on paper are readable, and the audience that you intend them to be for can understand them and digest them effectively. Your writing can be improved by this step by fine-tuning what you meant to say into what you're actually saying. So a lot of times we write all of our ideas in sort of a word vomit. And when we do that, it's great because it breaks the blank page syndrome, where it's scary, it's just an empty space. But we have a lot of extra stuff in there. We have things that are in places where they don't need to be. And we oftentimes write things in sort of a complicated way when really, if we look at our writing, we can simplify it to be as clear as possible. That's the editing process, is doing that, making sure what we wrote says what we want it to in the best way possible. If you ignore this step, you're running the risk of having your audience misunderstand what you're saying, or even worse, ignore what you're saying if it's not written in an easy to understand, clear manner. So that's a risk you don't want to take. Interested to see what all of you guys think.